Faris dons the mask, and other than creeping out the party, there is no other obvious effects. He can't remove it, but he can still eat, drink, and speak as normal. The next morning, Jaromir creates some magical experiments on the mask, but is still unable to remove it. The next 2 weeks they spend recovering from the fights. While most of the party rests, Grimes explores the empty city. One day he spots some giants moving nearby, and so alerts the party. Grimes heads out on skis to follow the giants, but he is spotted, and they follow him back to the city. The party decides to attempt negotiations with the giants. The giants seem quite cordial and provide lots of information, including that there are 2 more dragons in addition to Frostbite, the location of more ruins, and the giant's temple to Nerul. They also reveal that the elves the party are looking for are druids and travel on an island. After the party finish their rest, they head to the Temple of Valfara. However, everyone except Jaromir is overcome by a strange fear, preventing further progress. After attempts to continue by the party fail, Jaromir goes down alone. When he reaches the bottom, he encounters a visage of his wife, Victoria. He has a short, cryptic conversation with her that leaves him shaken. While the rest of the party return to camp, William spends some time trying to cheer Jaromir up. The next day, Jaromir returns to the temple to collect what valuables he can and finds an enchanted robe with many pockets. Cal Marshall goes to Bellam's temple to pray one last time before they head to the canyon the giants told them about. They need to leave Nimrod and the sleigh behind when they reach the mountains and have to start climbing. At the end of the canyon, they find an old mine, and just inside, they find some drawings on the wall that Jaromir interprets to be related to golems. They decide to enter the mine anyway, and as soon as they do, the golem activates. Will they defeat the golem? Where are the other dragons? Will the giants be willing allies? Let's find out now on Frozen Frontier.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Frozen Frontier. How are you guys all doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how Ryan's all proper. I'm doing well today. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. And dead silence. It's. I think Greg is.
Greg's muted, yeah.
No, I was going to say, still looking at
pictures of male celebrities.
Okay. That would explain
still
it.
stuck on that picture of Daniel Radcliffe.
It must be real.
Oh my god, no. I googled Bradley Cooper and like the images are amazing. They're so varied. I found one when he was in high school, I guess. Oh my god.
All right, we're done. If you want this sort of time wasting, show up to the pre-show next time. Twitch.tv/Koibu.
Or you could watch Greg's stream, which I can only imagine from this point forward.
Greg streams Google
Welcome
image
to the
search.
stream. Today we will be Googling celebrities and laughing at their photos.
Oh, God.
So I believe last we left, we were about to roll for initiative because there was a stone golem that was rising from his resting place.
I think so.
So I think we should just roll initiative.
Do we not get like a free round of combat as he crawls out of his hole?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't take a full minute for him to exit. Just a matter of seconds.
You just gotta ask these questions, you know.
Yeah.
Do I have a crossbow, a bolt notch? Does anyone remember if I declared that as we were slipping in?
I mean, we expected this to happen, so.
Yeah, you probably have something notched. You could give yourself an icon for every time you have your thing notched as well, like you've been doing with the dagger.
Fair enough. Is there?
If you want, no pressure.
Is there an arrow on here?
5? He goes at 5. So Grimes is first.
Yeah, I think I see the wall shifting and shaking, and I freak out and pull the trigger.
Fire away.
Sinking a magic bolt into the wall. Guys, it's moving.
It is moving. You strike it.
I hope I didn't incur this thing's wrath now.
Yeah, it was just gonna come out and play some Oncala with you, but now, oh god.
I was thinking it was just going to come out and kill the elf, but now. Is
So
19 a hit?
Yeah, you hit.
Okay. For 8 points of damage. Are you playing combat music and I still can't hear audio? Is that
Yes.
the heck, Discord?
just before anything else, I want to say, Faris, lead it out of the cave so we can strike it from behind.
Ferris is currently waiting for his initiative turn to show up, and we'll get back to you in a minute.
Yeah. Well, it's not much good telling you after your turn, is it?
The equivalent of voicemail. So next is Yaromir and the Golem. The Golem pushes towards Ferris, which had just crossed right in front of him, and will reach out a single arm. With a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Can you give me an opposed strength check? Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. I got
32.
sound.
Not quite good enough, actually. The golem grabs you by your solar plexus, not your solar plexus, your clavicle, and shoves you against a wall with one hand, and then turns to Yaromir and says, "Orders." Yaromir, it's your turn.
Nice. I look at it and I say, "Oh shoot!" I say, "Is there like a? Can I just tell it to stand down? Right? Like I don't know how to give it orders."
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
I'm thrown off by that, but I guess I just tell it like that's enough. Like stand down. I don't know.
So can you give me an exact quote?
As he's stumbling over his
That's
words.
enough. Stand down.
Okay.
That's my exact quote, and I'm
All
a little
right.
stupefied.
Sean, you're next.
I'm gonna swing at this thing's arm. Plus 10 for that. Nope, I don't. Probably don't.
No,
Even
it flails wildly and just like bounces off the solid rock arm.
Oh, I guess I do
Does
have
it
the.
say it in a
offhand.
language I can speak?
5.
Yeah, maybe you definitely understand him.
Okay.
Do the rest of us hear it?
Do non-magical weapons hurt it?
Which is a 21 total?
Yeah. With a non-magical
No,
weapon.
non-magical weapons will not hurt it though.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
So did the rest of us hear the golem speak?
You heard it, Grimes. You understood it, Grimes, I should say. And Ferris and William heard Garga Barga, but nothing else. The Swedish
okay.
golem. Yeah.
So Yaromir should be able to tell if it's speaking Old Caledonian, right?
Language
I
is
actually
confusing.
can't speak Old Caledonian, right?
Yeah,
I can
You can
only
read it.
Right, but he doesn't he doesn't hear it.
Okay.
William, it's your turn.
I know we work in actions, and I know I don't know what Yaromir said, but is the thing letting Faris go or not?
He's holding Ferris steady, hasn't actually hurt him, and is looking at Yaromir, but has not released Ferris.
I think in lieu of any direction, I've got to attack it.
Okay.
I circle around its back.
And
21.
hit.
15.
Is that including the d6? Yeah.
Yeah.
The flame blade does
Yes.
damage the golem.
It does. Maybe it shouldn't, but it does. I guess we roll initiative.
All right.
Goes at 11. Oh my god, those initiatives are so high.
Yeah.
First, though.
Sean, you are first.
20 should hit, so
Yeah.
D8 plus 6 to damage. 9 damage this thing.
Ooh.
And I won't even bother with the offhand attack.
Oh wait, I had a second attack last round.
No, because you're level 7 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just take it then. 30.
God, we might just kill this golem outright.
30 is a hit that clears by 10. It's a crit. Roll me double damage.
It's a 17 though, so is that triple damage?
No, because it's not a natural 18, 19, but 20.
I don't know why I still don't know that. 22.
Only been 3 years, Nick.
Yeah, I know. It's been longer than that because I was watching roleplay before.
Yeah. Well, they didn't ever figure out anything. Ever.
That was always a surprising thing. I remember watching like episode 30 of that, and somebody's just like, "What's my bonus to hit again, Neal?"
All right. The golem's turn rolls around, and it releases Ferris and sits down on the ground.
Ah,
Oh.
I think it worked. I am true geomancer.
what the hell happened?
You have control of this thing?
It seemed to ask for orders. I thought briefly about having it beat Elf up a little bit, but decided that was a bad idea.
Very bad idea.
You're saying you can control this thing?
I am saying it took an order.
See if you can leave the cave.
I'm more interested to see if it will turn back into wall.
Doesn't do as much good there.
Okay. Golem, follow me. And I walk out of the cave.
It stands up and walks out of the cave with you.
Wow. I feel I made a mistake destroying it so badly. I say, looking at its back as it's walking out.
Yeah, it's got like crumbling rocks falling off the back of it. It used to be like this broad-shouldered thing, and now it's all like a canyon down its back where you've been hacking into it.
I mean, at least it's immune to non-magical damage, so.
Do you think you can fix it, Yaramir? Or at least have it well the cave for us?
I am interested to see if it can fix itself. But given time and resources, yes, perhaps I could fix it. I do not have the resources on me today. I tell it to return. I want to see if it'll go back inside the wall.
It walks back into the mine and stands in the entryway.
Okay.
This thing could probably take the place of all of the dogs.
Perhaps. I do not know its limits. Seems it can leave the cave. I am confused as to why it is following my directions.
Well, the amulet, perhaps?
Yeah, the last golem we found was linked to that amulet. Perhaps it gives you control over them.
Perhaps it does.
We could test it.
Sure, William. Have a go. And
Step
I'll
forward.
hand you the amulet.
Neal, is the creation of golems like a cleric thing in Arcadia? I know that's a thing for
No.
clay golems, at least.
It's definitely a wizard thing.
Okay.
So I gingerly put the amulet around my neck, and then speak "come" at the golem.
Okay.
Does it do anything?
Not in the slightest.
How do I say "come over here" in that language you were speaking, Yaramir?
Was I speaking a funny language?
Yeah, it sounded like I don't know.
Swedish, I believe.
The land
Never
of chocolate and meatballs.
Yes,
I've heard
yes.
of it.
You heard that fairy tale. Good.
Yes. I
And
also heard they have scary bears.
Neal, I'm going to try speaking to the golem in Caldonian if I can.
Sure.
Come
ahead.
over here.
It doesn't do anything.
He ignores me.
Oh,
Yeah.
you speak that one as well, Grimes. I hand him the amulet.
I give Yaramir, or give William a look, like, narrowing my eyes, and shrug it off for now. He hands me the amulet.
Yeah. See if you can command it with this.
I hold this amulet, I think for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Can I feel anything as I pick it up? Like, do I feel the fates turning in my favor?
No.
Awesome
it feels,
power of gods in my hand.
It feels
not
like
obviously magical.
a simple little trinket that you're holding of no particular value or power. You
Right.
know that's not true, but that's...
Yeah.
It doesn't resonate with you at all.
I speak bow. Gollum?
Could it be?
It must just respond to his magic.
Or Yarmir, did
tossed
you ever
the
find out
amulet.
if those robes are magical?
Oh no, they're very clearly magical. Yes.
I toss the amulet back to Yarmir.
It could be the robes.
Okay.
I think it's
Perhaps
just
golems don't see like normal creatures do. It sees the magical signature of your robes and assumes that's you're its creator.
Possible.
Either
All
way,
things are possible. Yes.
sounds like a wizard thing, but we shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. If this thing is going to fight for us, then we should make use of it. I'm just wondering, do we bring it with us or do we leave it at the fort? We don't even know how well it can fight. Did it hurt, Faris?
No, it just held me down. That thing was strong like an ox, though. I'm sure it could have caused some damage if it tried.
Well, look, we need to get back to the dogs, so let's explore this place, and then we'll decide what to do with our golem friend when we're done.
I spark up a lantern.
Okay. It is lit.
And I look into the cave. What do I see?
You see rough-hewn walls along the sides, braced with timbers. The snow sort of covers the entrance and spills in, but you're already beyond that, and you've used the flaming sword to kind of melt the snow and that crevasse and everything to get into here. There are tracks that run into the mine,
Oh, like
rail car tracks.
Rail
Yeah.
tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I take a
Do-
few steps in and look down. I do see what.
You do see some tools lying around that one might use in mining.
Still intact after all these centuries.
Barely intact. Badly corroded. Wood is frozen and looks like it's been, kind of ripped apart by freezing and melting processes over thousands of years, 1,500 years.
It looks like it's melted a little bit sometimes.
Well, sort of. It gets that funny look that frozen wood gets. You know what I mean?
Okay, you said melting processes too, and I was like, that
Yeah. I mean, I
seems
guess in the real
interesting.
world, it tends to look like that probably because things melt and freeze and melt and freeze.
Yeah, but
It might
I mean,
not-
that would be kind of a big deal here because it should have been pretty consistently cold, right?
Yeah. I guess I don't really know what happens to wood if it's just frozen for 1,000 years. I feel like that's probably not great for it.
probably not. Would it show though?
I don't know. I think it must have some sort of sign of awkwardness.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. Anyway, the tools are in terrible, terrible condition, but they're still around.
Is it just a straight stretch down this hallway?
For now. It'll probably split and fork and wind and twist and maze eventually, but where you're standing, it's just a straight shot.
All right, I hold my sword aloft and say, fall in behind me.
So sword in one hand, lantern in another. You
No,
guys
shield on the other. Right.
Grimes has a lantern.
Oh, yeah.
You guys proceed into the mine.
As we walk forward, I'll tell the golem to follow me.
It follows at your heels.
Nice.
You look through the mine, and can I get intelligence checks from the party? See if you can figure out what sort of mine this is, just based on the
This is very
stuff lying around.
28.
I'm looking for a
what's
30.
my int again?
So I have to roll a natural 20.
Yeah, I think I have to roll like a natural 19. I'm just gonna roll d20 and find my int. It's not gonna happen.
Definitely not. Okay. No, you guys can't piece it together yet. Not off the clues that are lying around here. But the mine will go back maybe 150 feet and then immediately forks into 5 different sections. One to the front, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And they go at varying angles as well.
Have we not passed anything that seemed like a foreman's office? Remember there was a desk in the last one near the entrance.
Correct.
That was toward the back, wasn't it?
No, it was very near to the front, but you
was like-
see
okay.
no such thing here.
Okay, well, if we explore the passageways, we might find out what the mine is, but we could do with finding the office of whoever ran this place.
Well, it's not like we know where we're going, so one path is as good as any other.
I'd say we should split up because there couldn't be any monsters in here because of the golem, but let's not do that. Who knows? Maybe something burrowed in from underneath the mountain. Let's just start with the left path. So we choose the leftmost path.
Sure. You take that and follow it, and it goes for a ways and then forks again into a few different forks, and one of them goes pretty steeply down in a spiral, and the other 2 are level. You're getting the impression that this is going to be a pretty complicated network of tunnels, and
the GM didn't make a map for it, so we're sort of at a loss.
We need to find a map, right? Like a place this big, there's probably there must be someone who worked here that had a map. There must be a map somewhere.
Should we go out near the front and look for secret doors?
Yeah, let's head back.
okay.
Wasn't the last foreman's office hidden in the wall or something?
It was built right into the salt mine.
Was it concealed?
Nope.
Okay.
There's
No,
a wooden structure just sitting right in the entryway.
Yeah. The amulet was concealed, and then they had the town's wealth also buried there. So yeah, I think we split off and search the main corridor for any doors or any maps maybe that are on the floor. You know, maybe they were pinned to the wall and they've fallen off.
Yeah, give me perception checks across the board.
28.
Oh, 13.
All right, so Grimes, you're going to be the one to find this. You're kind of sifting through the rubble that's just lying around this ancient mine, and sure enough, underneath a small pile of rocks and debris, you do find the very tattered remains of a scrap of parchment that has some sort of map layout on it.
Nice.
This is convenient. I roll it out and take a look. Can I orient? Is it legible after all these years?
Yeah, give me an int check. It's theoretically legible.
Yeah.
It's a lot of missing information, though, and I don't think you can make heads or tails of it.
I pass it off to Yarmir.
Yeah. Much of the map is damaged and destroyed, kind of like ripped holes and spots where rocks have fallen through it. It's in pretty terrible shape.
Where was this? This is just like in the entrance?
There's, yeah,
some
like
rubble?
the mine is old and rubble has fallen in the last 1,500 years, and wherever this map was nailed to or attached to had fallen and crumbled, and it's just buried on the sides.
So Grimes hands it to me. Can I attempt to decipher it?
Give me that check. Yeah, you can sort of figure it out. It takes you a little minute. Luckily, there are some words that are written that Grimes just couldn't comprehend, and you can see where the entranceway is marked. But then the first passage of the entrance is completely destroyed. But like the bottom of the map has like the word entrance on it, and then there's a whole bunch of passages everywhere. And it looks like there have been added additions have been made to the map. Like it started at one point, and then someone drew some extra passages, and someone drew some other passages over here. Looks like it's been updated a few times.
Are there any like landmarks on it, or is it just like here are all the passages?
It's just here are all the passages. There are no landmarks of any kind, except for one area where there was a marking of cave-in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I share this information with the team. You know, here we have a map. We can see what has been excavated. Here are the different tunnels that have been gone down. Doesn't look like there's anything remarkable about any of them that made it onto the map, except for a cave-in at one point.
Yeah. I think there are a few places where it'll say like vein depleted at the end of a tunnel as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that implies it's like an ore
If it's
mine.
a vein, that probably means they were mining some kind of ore, not just like stone or something.
Yeah.
Call me crazy, but this place isn't exactly easily accessible. Where would any of the miners have slept? Where would the the foreman of
I
work
mean,
from?
We know
what's-
that entire towns and villages were wiped off the map when this place froze over. It's possible there was some sort of hut outside of the mine.
Is that? Yeah, maybe this. Was there another way to go when we approached this? Neal, this was just like a single passageway that ended in the entrance to the mine, right?
Right, like the mine went out into this narrow passageway, which opened into a bit of a valley, which ran for, I think we said like a mile and a half, kind of curved, and then just hit the ocean. There weren't really any other ways in or out. The valley...
Were there like areas where you could have set up some kind of house?
It would have made it pretty tight in there. Very near to the ocean, there was a little bit wider, and you could have fit some buildings. Maybe a few hundred, maybe 150 feet wide, where it hit the ocean.
You know the path carved out of the rock that led to the mine? How high are those walls?
25 feet?
Grimes, maybe you could scale the cliffs on the way in and get a vantage point and look to see if there's any other buildings.
Yeah, sure. We're right by the entrance, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, so I'll step out of just outside of the entrance, set the lantern down, probably turn it off, and look up above the entrance to the mine shaft. You said it's like 25 feet of...
25 feet of frozen, icy rocks.
I think I've still got my crampons on from the climb up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll unload my crossbow, so that's not a hazard.
Mm-hmm.
Set down my backpack, remove the ice pick, and stick it in just above the entrance to the mine and pull myself up and start scaling the cliff face. Climbing check?
Yeah, so it is icy. It's very slippery, so -8 for the conditions. It is a natural rock, rough natural rock, so +2 for that, so a total modifier of -6, unless you're wounded or encumbered.
No, I set down my backpack, so I should be, just fine.
Okay.
29.
Oh, easy peasy. Oh, you have a 26 climbing mod?
I do.
It's very good. Yeah, you quickly climb up to the top of this area and look out. And this canyon leads up and is just more canyon-y up top, and there's no signs of structures anywhere near to you. Of course, you could continue climbing and get higher and higher and higher and get better and better views, but in the immediate area, there's no structures.
Yeah, I shot that down. I can't see anything interesting from up here.
God damn it.
Shall I keep climbing? You said isn't there like a valley going in further or something? We were talking
You're in the valley.
Yeah, but the valley ends at this mine, or...
From the mine to the ocean, I don't think it goes deeper in than the mine.
Okay.
Grimes, can you see the shouting up? Grimes, can you see the patch of flat land near the beach?
I look down the valley, looking for maybe like a dock or something at the ocean.
I don't know exactly where it is, but Neal said we saw like a bit of land that perhaps could have had. So, can you see that?
Yeah, I don't think that's down the cliff. I think that's just near the mine entrance.
The mine is up this canyon.
Right, so just to the north of where you guys are on the map, I'm drawing a little doodle of our situation.
Cool.
So you can see this thing that I've drawn, this weird, awkward-looking thing that kind of looks like a fallopian tube. We've got the mine over here on the left, and the ocean over here on the right. Just make a little wavy thingy here. Yeah. So you've got this tight little passageway over here, and then this much wider passageway out here. So Grimes is, around where my arrow is pointing. If you climb a little bit higher, you could probably see all the way to the ocean, but you'd have to get a little higher.
Sure, I'll climb a little higher. Do you need another check?
No, your 29's good. You can scale up and get a look all the way to the ocean. Give me a perception check from your nice ocean vantage point here.
21.
Yeah.
Just barely.
You notice that at least from this angle, you can see something under the water right over here. There's something something under the water, long and rectangular.
Yeah. There's some structure under the water. Maybe a dock. Maybe a sunken boat.
How deep?
I can see it, but it's submerged.
Could we get... I can't tell from the map, Neal. Can we walk there easily?
Yeah, I mean, you guys entered in around here anyway. Like, you came in along this cliff route.
Okay. All right.
You know?
All right, that's good, Grimes. Come back down.
I take another moment to look a little more now that I'm up higher.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like there's nothing else to see.
Yeah, there's nothing else to see.
So I guess I climb back down.
Okay. You head back down to the rest of the party.
While Grimes is off climbing, there were inscriptions near the entrance of the cave, like the ones previously.
Right. It says Imperial Mine on it. That was the name.
Okay, Imperial Mine. What were the inscriptions? Were like single words that were vaguely like protective or of the mine, right? What are like? Do the single words? Knowing that there's a golem here following my commands, do these look like command words potentially? Like if I were to memorize these, could I maybe? Is this like a manual on the wall?
No, they're definitely not command words, but they do look like they would apply to some sort of guardian or protector. It looks like they're probably tied to the golem, but not as a command word. You can probably figure this out on your own, but if you give me an int check, I can give you some more info. But I think you probably already know what's going on. Yeah, that's definitely part of the magic that creates and keeps the golem alive, is in those words.
Interesting. I want to spend some time, since I have some time while Grimes climbs the mountain. First thing I want to do, I want to turn the golem and see if it can heal itself, right? I want to tell it first to like heal or restore, and then if it doesn't do anything, I want to tell it to eat. I want to see if it'll eat the rocks. And if it doesn't do anything, then I want to just take down, like I have some ink and some like scalps. I guess I'll just use up a scalp to write on to like make exact copies of these runes in language.
Yeah, you take your time and make the exact copies of the runes. The golem does not eat or sleep. No, eat or heal, or what was the other one that you said?
Restore.
Restore. Those do not have an effect on it.
Fair enough.
Yaramir. If there's no room for miners to set up, it might be worth asking this golem if it's able to mine.
Do you have need of iron or stone?
No,
or
but it would solve that mystery. William seems intent on finding a house. This would explain why there is no house.
I'll tell it to mine.
It walks down the mine and disappears into the darkness.
I will follow it.
Yeah, I'll go after him, I guess. I've got the skull lantern.
Where are you guys going?
We're mining. Ferris has needs of stone.
No. Come back, I shout as you wander down.
Meanwhile, Grimes is left alone on top of a frozen mountain.
I'm probably finding my way down.
Yeah,
I think I get
wait
to the
for
bottom. Okay.
Grimes, I wait for you. I don't go with them.
I think I'm gonna head down to the out of the ocean and see if I can figure out what's underwater.
Sure. So Grimes heads to the ocean. William, you're going with him?
That was in character. Like I said that to William.
Sorry.
You want to go and see what's down there? How far was the walk, Neal?
Mile-ish.
I look back to the darkness and I look.
William, you should come see this.
Grimes, maybe it can wait. The others have wandered into the mine.
I shrug.
All right. So, what are you doing, Grimes?
Yeah, I take off walking down. He can do what he wants.
I stand there, look back and forth for a minute, and then follow the party into the mine.
All right.
I pick up the lantern again.
So Yaramir and Ferris, you're the first ones following this golem. It heads down through a twisting set of passageways. It comes to the end and then like reaches out and just starts grabbing sections of rock and tearing it down, and grabbing sections of rock and tearing it down, and then goes to pile it, and then just holds it in its arms.
Is there
There's no minecart for it.
We found
I can't make a cart or anything,
Wait,
can
we
I?
found a cart when we came in, right?
I would have loved. This is where I need Tensor's disc, so I could have just been like, bam, put it on here.
Wait, did we find a cart when we came in, or did we only find tracks?
I don't remember what I said last week about that.
Looking
I
around,
don't
is there a
believe we found
minecart?
a minecart. I believe you asked, and it was not there. There was just a broken track.
Yeah, then there's no minecart.
I catch up with the other two. What is this thing doing?
It is mining. Ferris wanted to know if it could get stone for it. So
I suppose
told
this
him-
explains the lack of accommodations for workers.
Oh, you think this thing just ran the mine on its own?
Might have been more than one.
But who drew the map?
Someone probably had to command the golem, no?
Yeah, there might be a room in this place that's meant for a human to live in.
These Caledonians are incredibly vexing. There's nothing like this in Arcadia right now.
Automated mining systems?
Yeah.
No.
I'm watching this thing pull rocks out of the
Oh, it's
Well, right
standing
now
there with
it's
a-
literally standing still,
like
just
a
waiting
handful
for a
of
cart.
rocks.
Yeah.
So I look at the rock it's holding. Can I tell what it is?
Give me an int check.
Do I need 30 again?
See what you do.
22.
22 is definitely not enough. It's fucking rock, William. You are a noble. You've never had to get your hands dirty with rocks and mining and stuff, you know? You got
That's
lesser
true.
people to do this work for you.
Say, you know what? I've got an idea. What if we took this thing back to the capital city and we had it clear the keep?
How is it going to climb down?
Ah, damn it. That's a good point.
Climb down? Down what?
Cliff.
Whoa.
The
So
cliff.
when the rock golem came out of the wall, was it like just kind of blending with the wall, or did it literally come out of the wall?
It looked just like a section of wall, and then the golem stepped out, and now there was like a man-shaped hole in the wall.
Okay, so it wasn't like fused with the rock; it was just in the rock.
Sort of. I mean, it kind of was the rock. It was sort of the wall, and then it came out of the wall, but it was a perfect match. So I don't know how to describe that.
Well, I was just wondering because if it was like able to blend into or like meld with rock, you could probably climb a mountain pretty easily.
We could try,
That's
see if it'll climb.
Yeah, clunky
Do
as a
you
golem.
think Golem needs to breathe?
No.
Perhaps
right.
we could put it in extra dimensional space.
It's,
I think it might be too heavy for that.
It's a little too big to fit in extra dimensional space. It's like
What if I reduced it?
Could we make it far enough?
Grimes probably could. He is quite nimble, like Spider Monkey on rocks.
I suppose we just have to get to the cliff face first, because we wouldn't want him to grow again while inside of that space.
shrinking it. Good idea.
So we'd have to be quick getting it back out of the hole.
How long does it last?
Like 7 minutes, I think.
No, reduce. It's 10 minutes per level, I think.
10 minutes, so over an hour.
Could we make the climb, Grimes?
Right?
Could you make the climb?
he can't go 4.5 miles in an hour climbing on rocks. That's like regular. That's like a fast-paced walk, and Grimes is definitely slower than a fast-paced
Could
walk.
Yarmir levitate him down at
Hang on,
that speed?
it's just like a piece of cloth, though, right? Tie it to a spear and throw it down the cliff.
What cliff are you talking about?
Yeah, what?
There's a cliff, like you have to go through this valley, right, up to the coast, and then in order to get back towards the swamp side, you have to cross this cliff that we
It wasn't
climbed.
exactly a cliff. It was like a
It's like a-
Hold on,
We had to
hold on.
climb.
sort
Okay,
of.
regardless of what you want to call it, we had to climb across the coast to
Yeah,
get
but it was
there.
like a 4.5 mile journey. It wasn't just like down something. It was
But it
like
wasn't like a
across.
specific cliff. It was like walking along a mountain slide. It was like walking along a.
You hooked us up with like climbing
No.
shoes and ropes and stuff, and we climbed across.
That's what I suggested, and then we wound up not.
Well, at the very least, right, we could get Zaz to come and pick us up at the beach here and bring it.
Yeah.
Right.
Enlarge is 5 rounds per level. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, it might just be able to climb. I feel like rocky terrain would be this thing's natural element. What do you think?
It's a bit risky.
We could test it somewhere where it's not going to break apart if it falls.
It's not a bad idea.
Worst case scenario, damage is limited to 20d6 in second edition. So
I already hurt it quite a lot. Let's lead it back to the valley then and see if it can scale the rest of this cliff. This, apart from the golem, this mine doesn't seem to house anything too interesting.
You've hardly looked at it. You've been down one passageway. Who knows what wonders could be here?
I thought you said the map said that there was nothing marked on it.
Well, there's nothing marked on it. Just because a map is blank does not mean there's nothing there.
We could waste months exploring this place. Is that an accurate guess, Neal? Months?
It's probably on the high side, but a good manager always overestimates difficult things for their employees.
Thank you. Well, we could do a bit more exploring then, I suppose. If you think there's more to find, Yaromir.
Who knows? Last time we found Empty Mind, we walked out with 3 magical items.
Yeah. It was different to this one, though.
How so? Because the last one was salty?
Last one seemed to have people who live there.
I'm getting salty just standing around talking like this. Let's make a decision, please.
Well, we can do both, right? Let's bring the golem back out, see if it can climb. And if not, then we'll explore the rest of the mine, or as much of it as we can. I turn 180 degrees and start to walk out.
Okay. Everyone follows?
Yep.
Will it set down the rock if I tell it to?
Do you tell it to?
Yes, like please put that down.
It just drops the rocks.
Excellent. Come with us.
Can I go back and take a look at the rocks?
Sure.
I crouch down before following, hold the lantern up to them, and see if there's anything of value within the ore.
Yeah.
Like, are there any gemstones within?
Give me a perception check and an appraisal check.
Ooh.
So many freaking checks just to look at things.
Oh,
I'm sorry. There you go. Yeah, you know what? You find little bits of iron in here.
So
I shout back as the party's probably a little ways further. Guys, I think this is iron.
what did he say? Grimes, keep up.
I said I think this is iron.
Did he just say?
He said it is iron. Iron mine for iron.
Well,
This has got to be worth. I look around. Is this rock just the regular rock that's in the walls?
Mm-hmm. Yep, looks like an iron mine.
I don't know if the party's close enough, but this place could be worth millions.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is explains all the iron tools, I suppose.
I mean, okay, so back on Arcadia, there are iron mines, right? They're just kind of sparse.
Yeah, iron is just a scarce metal. There's not enough of it
Right.
for everyone's needs.
So it's probably not going to be groundbreaking that we discovered a mine on Caledonia for it. It'd probably be profitable if we hired miners to come down and work this place if we could keep it supplied with surviving people.
Right. Yeah, I mean, think of it like any of the gold rushes in U.S. history. That same sort of concept.
This is a big find.
Yeah,
The princess will want to know. Where would people live, though? And what monsters are here? If we go back and tell the princess about this, she'll have men sent over here, I'm sure. But
Right, we need at least
it's safe.
Yeah, we need a wizard that could somehow assume Yaromir's identity for this golem to direct it. That would start to get expensive.
Why would we need the golem?
Why? It's a miner. It would help keep people. Okay, so this place isn't really easily survivable for humans, right, William?
No, I see that, yes.
There's not really much room to live. It doesn't look like there's much vegetation around either. So you'd probably need to keep the golem here to keep the number of people that need to be sustained to a minimum.
I think that they'd have to rely on supply ships, like we've been doing. The golem's certainly helpful, but I'm still intrigued with what it could do for us away from this mine.
Those are problems for other officials to work out. You guys don't need to figure out the exact way to make a mine happen, right? That you can delegate that task to NPCs.
Yeah.
Besides, right now I've got a feeling the Crown would attempt to simply take any iron that we ship off the continent. I'm not sure they would be paying us for it. They're in the middle of a war, aren't they?
I shrug. It makes no difference to me whether they pay us or they take it for themselves.
Well, then we're just losing money in this expedition in that case.
We?
Yes.
Meaning us?
Yes, we are spending money to not make any money, and we are losing that money for the expedition in that case.
You spent much of your own gold since you've been here, Faris?
Did the party come back to have this conversation near me?
No, they're still walking down the mine, and you're like, "But guys, there's iron." And
I think I sit down. I like shove my backpack full of the ore that the golem grabbed, and then I scramble after the party.
Go ahead and add like 20 pounds of iron ore, rough iron ore to your.
As opposed to smooth iron ore?
Opposed to like somewhat refined or maybe just like the best parts. You know, you've just taken handfuls of rocks and thrown them in your backpack.
Sure.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. You can let's just say ore.
How many pounds did you say?
As many as you want. I was just saying 20 as a ballpark figure, but feel free to load up your gear as much as you can fit.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a weight issue. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I come huffing after the party at half movement. So I think I'm like running just to like move at a regular pace, huffing and puffing after the party.
Are you okay, Grimes?
I don't think it's that unusual. I'm just like running to catch up.
You're running at like the speed of a man walking.
You guys were in the heat of a conversation. Didn't even notice that I was lagging.
All right. Spend much of your own gold since you've been here, Faris?
What exactly are you implying here, William?
I don't see how any of us have lost any money.
Us personally? I'm speaking for the expedition. We do use our money, right, William? You can understand how maybe us losing money that we use to fortify our expedition could be less than ideal.
I see what you mean. Well, I'm sure if that did turn out to be a profitable iron mine here, then the expedition would be increased in size, not reduced. So I wouldn't worry about that. Let me handle that bit. Faris, you stick to
this
hunting and
this mine could be more valuable than anything we found on this expedition so far.
If properly mined.
You want to turn the tide on the war in Arcadia. How about outfitting every Drekian soldier with steel plate?
No, that's a nice thought, but I don't see them walking around in bronze plate. Well, this certainly puts a timer on things. Let's check out the thing at the beach, and then I think we should head back.
All right. You guys make your way down the canyon back to the beachhead.
And I think we keep going to the water, right? I think before we like popped in just above the water line.
Yeah. So you head all the way down to the water, and sure enough, they're down here. It looks like under the water are the remains of a dock that has since collapsed and broken apart.
Is there any ships or anything down there?
No, there's no ships.
Just a submerged dock.
Yeah.
Could a ship still pull up here, or would the dock need to be repaired?
The dock's underwater, so you could pull up to the side of it and then not attach yourself to it.
What's the shore like? Is it just a gradual slope into
it would be pretty easy to put a boat out in the water and just row back and forth, no problem.
Well, this is the way to get the golem off this cliff, then.
If it can breathe underwater, maybe it can just walk across the bay. And I like point towards Swampside in the distance.
Sure. I should know, I guess you told the golem to follow you and never told to stop. So we should probably retcon a slight bit here, because it doesn't follow you all the way to the ocean. Maybe 600-700 feet away from the mine, the golem's movement begins to get sluggish and slow, and like another 100 feet or so after that, and it just comes to a dead stop.
I'll just tell it to return.
Yeah, it heads back.
What?
This is not unexpected. Things created to protect or work in certain area probably is bound to that area by magic. I did not expect it to come with us that easily.
Do you think you could take control of it somehow?
With lots of time and resources, yes.
Don't such arcane creations require power?
Yes.
Perhaps its source energy is somewhere in that mine.
Quite possibly.
That's how we.
No, it's clearly empty. William told us so.
That's where the salt golem was powered by your amulet, right?
I think so. I cannot prove it, but I believe
So
that.
is there another amulet in this mine somewhere?
Possibly, or perhaps something entirely different.
Well, it bears looking for then. Grimes, I say with a smile, turning to you. Do you think you could make the trip back to Swampside?
Sure thing.
You could return the dogs, inform Captain Hughes of the mine. Perhaps you can make it there fast enough before Zaz has left. She should be here.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Can I drive this dog sled? That doesn't require any sort of proficiency or animal handling, right?
It does require animal handling, but you've seen William do it enough, and you could probably do it.
Does anyone have William does have animal handling?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't fancy my chances climbing across the cliff on my own.
So are you going to send Grimes back alone, and the three of you are just going to camp here?
And search the mine. And hopefully, like you said, Zaz was coming like in a couple of days, right?
I said you saw Zaz's ship in the water as you were crossing the rocks.
So that's today, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess we're probably actually at the very end of the day, because you've been traveling and hiking around and doing all sorts of stuff. It's probably tonight.
Right, isn't Zaz is leaving, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying if you go ASAP, you might be able to get there before she leaves.
Or what if we set up a signal fire here and see if we can get Grimes to just get Zaz to just pick us up?
That works as well. If you don't fancy
I'm happy to trek, but what's the point in me heading back to request a pickup when you could just send some sort of signal fire from here?
It's not necessarily to request pickup. I want to make sure that the princess finds out about the mine now and not in 2 months' time.
Don't we need to go get the dogs? Can we really get picked up?
That's a good point. You return the dogs to the place, make sure they don't starve out there, and then you can make sure that Zaz finds out about. Here, I'll write a letter.
That would be wise.
Do I have some parchment, Neal, or I haven't got
I
on
don't
the
know.
character
If it's on your character sheet, then you have it. If it's not, you don't. I don't think you're just carrying around paper with you, though, or parchment.
Yaramir, can I borrow some
Scalps?
scalps?
I did not know you were interested. Sure, I suppose I could part with one for you.
Do you even have ink, William?
Is that not ink
I
that
have
you
ink
use?
as well.
Grimes has ink for his scroll making.
You mean Yaramir?
Yaramir, sorry.
Yes, hand me ink and the scalp of a kobold.
Let me see if I have any kobold scalps remaining.
You'll go through with this. You won't eat any of my food, William. I have to say, I'm hurt.
Needs must, Varys.
Did you just say Ferris's food needs mustard?
No, I wouldn't like to criticize him or his cooking.
I'm very
As
confused.
well, you would not.
Anyway, I do not have kobold. I can give you selection of human scrolls, human scalps, or gnolls.
No, I guess I'll take a null scalp then.
All right, gnoll it is.
Okay, I take out I borrow a quill and ink, and I'll pen a short letter to Princess Stella.
Wait. This is going to the princess? I thought you were sending this back to the fort.
Yeah, maybe.
Are you seriously writing a letter to the princess on a scalp?
Well, I write "Dear Princess Stella," and then you say that, and that's a good point. Captain Hughes.
You can write. We can have. I can have it retranscribed or whatever.
I'll leave it to Captain Hughes to write to the princess. Yes, maybe you should have it retranscribed. So I start writing to the princess again.
I start figuring out how I'm gonna get.
It's like Princess Sella scratched off Captain Hughes, scratched off Princess Sella.
It'll probably take me a few days to get back. Should I take the tent?
Will it really take you a few days?
So it was at least a day to climb in here, and then probably at least a day or more through the swamp.
Well, without the other people behind you, you can probably traverse those rocks in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of what the weather's like and whether or not you can make it back to the fort before it turns bad.
How long does Zaz usually stick around? 1 night?
She
2 nights?
shows up, stays 1 night, and leaves usually.
So she would
Saw
probably
her
leave.
yesterday, right?
You saw her today, earlier today.
So we need to be there tomorrow. So Grimes, maybe you could just head out on the skis and we'll handle the dogs.
The skis are on the sleds, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go check on the dogs.
If we're splitting here, we have the firewood with us, right? Or wait, which one do we have in the hole and which one do we have on the sled? Or do we have everything in the hole?
We got food and wood in the hole.
Okay, so Grimes won't have any food or wood.
I have no food and wood, but I can take a couple rations.
This will also help. If Zaz showed up today, she's going to leave tomorrow morning. So by the time Ryan gets to the fort, she will already be gone.
Really?
If she stays for 1 night and she arrived today, she'll leave tomorrow.
When he goes, can't he go like mega quick on the skis? Can't he do like
It's
that
still
journey?
going to take him at least
hours?
half a day to get there. He can't, I mean, if it's a calm day, he might be able to get there quickly, but it's going to take a few hours to traverse the mountains and a while for him to figure out how to get the dogs put together because he's never driven a sled before. And then some time to get there,
I was gonna
and then
leave
time
the
to cross
dogs.
the river. Oh yeah, I mean, without whatever.
Like climb out, ski. No, so it seems like we should set up a signal fire here and see if we can get Zaz directly.
Chances are low that you'd make it before she left. Yeah.
We don't need a signal fire because we need to go get the dogs.
Why do we need to get the dogs?
As long as we can.
Because they'll die.
No, we don't need Zaz to give us a lift. We just need to give it a letter.
Nimrod.
Oh, okay.
We left Nimrod with dog food on the sled. They'll be fine.
Anyway, let's.
Or maybe
the
they'll run off, but they'll be alive nonetheless.
Where's the best place to build this fire, Faris?
Right here, no? Like
Isn't
standing on
Yarmir the sailor?
Yes, I have rudimentary sailing symbol language.
Let's do it here then. Let's get some wood out of the hole. Start building a big bonfire.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break. You will have a big bonfire that you'll make, and we'll see what happens on the other side of our break. Bye-bye, everyone.